In a new interview, Yukito Kishiro, the creator of Gundam or Battle Angel Alita, the source for Alita Battle Angel, reveals that Disney holds the rights to an anime adaptation for Gundam, likely meaning an Alita sequel is stuck with Disney. But why does Disney seem so disinterested in Alita, with the Twitter account not tweeting anything for months, while Robert Rodriguez, director of Alita, and John Landau and Cameron continue to support the movie, asking us to let Disney know we want a sequel, with Rodriguez retweeting that the movie is now streaming on HBO and it won a VFX award. Clearly those close to the movie are still supporting it, but the official accounts and Disney are silent. Is it because with the movie on HBO Go, revenue would go to HBO, not Disney or Disney Plus? With reviewing contracts from 2012, Fox films were sent to HBO for streaming all the way through 2022. Does that mean for another couple years until 2022, Disney is not going to support Alita until it brings it to Disney Plus? And with the resignation of Emma Watts, the head of 20th Century Studios, and the studio reportedly only publishing 4 movies a year, including the Avatar sequels, a big name says, I don't think the label 20th Century Studios means anything anymore. We'll dig into all of these details. And we cover his most recent movie, which is heading to streaming, Rodriguez's Alita Battle Angel follow-up, Red 11. And finally, show you the moment where John Landau accepts the Best VFX Performance Award from the Hollywood Critics Association.
And the award goes to Rosa Salazar for Alita Battle Angel.
So on behalf of Rosa, who's working and could not be here tonight, I want to say thank you to the HCA. I get to now go call Rosa and tell her she beat out Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, Josh Brolin, and Ryan Reynolds. Thank you very much.
The doctor is in. What's up guys, Doc Ito here with another packed Alita update. Remember to like and subscribe to the channel and hit the bell so you don't miss any of Doc Ito's free repairs. Sign the sequel petition link below, almost at 140,000 signatures, and consider supporting the fundraiser for Open Bionics to give an amputee a hand, all while we buy those Blu-rays baby, fighting for a sequel. First, let's take a look at this interview from Yukito Kishiro, the creator of the Alita, or really the Gundam manga, that Alita Battle Angel is based on, which gives us insight into who actually owns the rights to Alita. After attending a comics festival in France, Yukito Kishiro sat down with a small selection of fans to answer questions about Gundam and Alita, and we'll summarize just the important aspects here. When asked about a potential video game, and we know there's a 1995 video game for PlayStation, he says he would love to see a Gundam video game done with today's technology, he'd love to play it. And here's an interesting part. When Hollywood Film started production, I asked if we could consider making a game. Mr. Landau answered if the movie was a hit, they would look into it. The movie's not exactly a hit, but if it catches fire with a sequel, I think a video game is definitely possible, and I for one would love to see an Alita video game. And this is pretty interesting. He talked about the anime OVA of Gundam and the differences from the manga, and about his implication with it, saying that when I was present with the project, there were many points I didn't agree with, so I rejected it. It started nonetheless. I was brought to Tokyo for a meeting where I was shown the storyboards. Some aspects did not suit me. I asked for changes and corrections, but the team said they didn't have time to make those changes, which made me wonder what's the point of the meeting. I was not satisfied because I could not give any insight in it. I'd very much like for a new anime adaptation of Gundam to be made. It will be hard since when the rights to the movie adaptation of Gundam were sold, the rights to an anime adaptation were sold to Fox, which was then bought by Disney. Today, Disney holds the rights to the anime adaptation rights for Gundam, just like for the video game and eventual animated show, which required the movie to be successful. There is not any concrete project as of now. Now, we know that Cameron acquired the rights to Gundam in 1997 and spanned a big screen, but we've always been under the assumption that he owns the rights to the movie and to the publishing rights for making a follow-up sequel rather than Fox or 20th Century Studios now and Disney. I'm not sure if Kishiro here is referring to just the rights to an anime adaptation, which he maybe sold separately to Fox, which is possible. It's possible that he sold the movie adaptation rights to Cameron and the anime adaptation rights to Fox, which are now owned by Disney. The thing is, though, whether or not Cameron owns the actual rights to the movie, everything is linked so deeply with Disney, it'd be very unusual for him to go to another studio to get a sequel made, unless things fall severely through the cracks with Disney. It's possible to go to another studio if Cameron owns the rights, which it does seem like he does, but it'd be very unusual to go with another studio if Disney has the rights to the anime, and Disney also has the publishing rights through 20th Century Studios for Avatar. I just don't see Cameron walking away from his multi-billion-dollar movie to stiff Disney and go on his own to make Alita. He might do this in a decade once all the Avatar movies are done, but in the near future, unfortunately, I think we are stuck with Disney. So definitely a good interview. You can feel free to check out the rest of it at fullfronter.mo. And Rodriguez continues to support Alita, tweeting or really retweeting the HBO tweet about how Alita is now on HBO, as well as tweeting out about how Alita won the Outstanding Animated Character in a Photoreal feature. Again, this was a big missed opportunity where Alita Movie put up the wrong tweet and then deleted it. It's really unfortunate that Alita Movie account has been dead now for several months. I mean, give it to one of us if we need to. We have 30,000 followers that are not getting any Alita news, which is just unfortunate. But as we talked about, it's interesting that the movie is streaming on HBO rather than Disney+. Robert Rodriguez is clearly interested in getting the movie to stream, and this is a sign that if the movie is being streamed on HBO and he wants people to watch it, there is a path to the movie being more successful and a potential sequel happening by getting people to watch it on HBO. Because otherwise, why would Robert be retweeting this? If the movie's done, if there's no more money to be made, if the project's over, he wouldn't need to spend effort getting this publicized. So why is it on HBO? Well, look back at a USA Today article from a couple years ago where it talks about how Fox has agreements with HBO signed in 2012 with Fox films, including things like Deadpool, Logan, and so on, set to be released, appearing on HBO now streaming until 2022. So it'll be up to Disney at that point to decide what to do next. And essentially, it sounds like Alita and some other Fox movies are going to be on HBO for at least another couple years, unless Disney probably pays to get them moved over, which it doesn't look like they're trying to do. And I really wonder if this is a big hiccup, because Disney's really trying to push Disney Plus. Is this why they're not that interested in pushing Alita at this time? Because say they push the movie, they get more people interested. If people are going to stream it, they're going to stream it on HBO now, and they're going to lose revenue because the movie is on HBO, not Disney Plus. So it's possible once the movie gets off HBO in a couple years that then Disney will be more interested in a sequel, more interested in marketing for a potential sequel. And I think it makes sense to a certain extent, because say Disney greenlights a sequel, what are people going to do? They're going to want to see the original. Where are they going to see it? HBO. So Disney doesn't want to greenlight a sequel that's going to make money for a different studio or a different company. So I do think we're unfortunately in a bit of a holding pattern for a couple years until these contracts expire. Also complicating matters, like we talked about, is 20th Century Studios, which we discussed how the head of 20th Century Studios, Emma Watts, has left, and the shakeup after that resignation. This Hollywood Reporter article says that 20th Century Studios is going to be rebranded essentially to adult dramas and some remakes, Hulu, Disney Plus titles, and the Avatar sequels. So Emma Watts was one of the few executives that survived the Disney merger, and symbolically she could have held on to the studio she once had. But about a week after finally relocating to a new place on the Fox lot, the chief executive resigned. And sources close to her say it was because she could not stomach the diminishment in power and autonomy that came with running the smaller studio within Disney. This is a blow to Hollywood's sorority of female studio executives. There's just a few left. But under Disney, and this is the important part, 20th Century will now release about 4 movies a year, down from as many as 6 or 7, and focus equally on making content for Disney Plus and Hulu. So 4 movies a year, that's not good. One of those is going to be Avatar every other year, and there is not a lot of movies slots for Alita to join if this is true, if it's only going down to 4 movies a year, unless they publish it under Disney's banner itself. But since the first came as 20th Century Studios, it's probably going to have to be under 20th Century. Disney's other silos like Marvel, Lucasfilm, Pixar, Walt Disney Animation, and Searchlight have clear identities, and the live action studios, which keeps making remakes and making billion-dollar plus films. So the answer what to do with 20th Century Studios is murky. Well, let's just make it Cameron's. How about that? Avatar, Alita, anything James Cameron wants to do. I would love that. I'm sure Disney is not going to do that, at least not now, but that would be wonderful. Disney insiders say that 20th Century can pursue anything outside of a family film, and adult-driven titles will be welcomed. So Alita, yes, let's do it. Sequel, right now. Since the merger closed, Watts has persuaded her bosses like Alan Horn and Alan Bergman to forge ahead with The Last Duel, which is going to come out December 25th. And then it talks about a bunch of other movies that 20th Century Studios is going to make. However, some of these are looking to have not necessarily the best outcome. But in any event, Bill Mechanic, who was the CEO of Fox Film Entertainment, says, "I don't think the label means anything anymore." It's a repository for rights to either remake pictures or use characters. You're making 4 movies a year out of this product. So essentially, 20th Century Studios just owns the rights to a bunch of characters that they're going to use, but they're probably not going to make a lot of movies under the 20th Century Studios banner, which is quite a shame because as you know, I'm a big Star Wars fan and I would always love the old Star Wars movies where you have the 20th Century Fox fanfare followed by a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. I miss that. Fox and Watts had a brutal 2019 with major misses like Dark Phoenix and Battle Angel Alita. Not quite as much with Battle Angel, which made a ton of money, just not quite enough. But overall, Fox lost $170 million in the second quarter of 2019 only. So that's not good. And again, The Call of the Wild is not looking good, $125 million budget, and it's tracking only in the $15 million range. So anyways, the rest of the article talks about Watts and where things are going, but an interesting quote here from John Landau says, "I hope they bring in someone who is filmmaker-centric. Both people at the studio and the filmmakers have to have the same goals. You have to have mutual respect to have the best results." So if someone comes in who loves filmmaking and has a good relationship with Landau and Cameron, it's very possible we could see an Alita sequel under Fox and under Disney, but the movie has to pick up on streaming. And I really do think this HBO 2022 is limiting the Fox and Disney marketing because it doesn't make any sense for them to be so quiet. But it does make sense if the money's going to go to HBO for the next couple of years. So I think this is part of the issue for Alita fans. And along that vein, Cinema Blend has a new article about the VFX supervisor for Alita Battle Angel campaigning for a sequel, talking about how February 14th is the 1-year anniversary of Alita Battle Angel, the passionate fan base eagerly awaiting news of a sequel. And Richard Bainham said, "If you want to go talk to Disney, you're very welcome. This is the VFX supervisor. You're welcome to talk to Disney. The truth is, there's a very rich world of material. I think it's just a matter of studio choices and whether or not it's the right property to be able to evolve." We've covered some of these quotes before, but it's great to see Cinema Blend publicizing them as well. With Cinema Blend's understanding too that Disney is the studio that would theoretically have to greenlight an Alita sequel. By the sound of it, they don't really have an idea whether Alita 2 will happen or not. However, his suggestion to talk to Disney is well worth following. And we're doing that, like I mentioned, with the tweet campaign, getting hashtag Alita sequel to trend tomorrow, and I'll link below for the details, just like in the last video. Cinema Blend continues talking about how the fans need to make their voices heard, all the way to Disney's offices in Burbank, which is basically what we've been doing. And they say they're going to keep us updated, and of course we will too if we hear anything. Now, also on the Alita front, Cinema Blend had an article talking about surprise, Robert Rodriguez's Alita Battle Angel follow-up is heading to streaming. While this article is about Red 11, it also talks positively about Alita, the incredible visual effects, and how it's a technical marvel. Rodriguez's follow-up, Red 11, will stream exclusively on the Tubi service, according to Deadline, which is a free ad-supported service, and the movie premiered at South by Southwest last year, exploring the world of medical research. In the movie, college kids volunteer as lab rats to make some quick cash, and the protagonist Rob, played by Robbie Attal, is given the designation Red 11. He has to pay down a debt of $7,000, and so forth, and it gets interesting when he has some ideas about the hospital trying to get him. So definitely check it out if you're interested in Rodriguez's follow-up. Now, otherwise, like I mentioned, the Hollywood Critic Award Association did give Best VFX Performance to Rosa Salazar, and let's take a look at how that went down.
And the award goes to Rosa Salazar for Alita Battle Angel.
So on behalf of Rosa, who's working and could not be here tonight, I want to say thank you to the HCA. She's very appreciative. She also wanted me to thank Robert Rodriguez, her incredible cast that she worked with. Without playing opposite other actors, she wouldn't have been able to give the performance she gave. And to the HCA, there's many of you that I have met. I look forward to meeting many more of you. But on a personal note, I want to thank you because I get to now go call Rosa and tell her she beat out Robert De Niro, Tom Hanks, Josh Brolin, and Ryan Reynolds. Thank you very much.
So well-deserved, Rosa, and thanks to John Landau for accepting. Of course, we thought we were going to get some Oscar nominations too, but the Hollywood Critics Association Award is great to get for now, and we know in our hearts this movie deserves so much more. And let's go back to the interview and hit some of the other highlights. He starts off by talking about the name Gundam, defines essentially as Gun Dream, and then talks about how the story changed over time to more of a martial arts series, but still feels the title still fits well. He talks about the success he's had in France and how In other countries, the work is published as Battle Angel Alita. He then covers about why he chose Alita or Gali to be a girl rather than a male character, saying that it would more easily help him take a step back on how the character would act, because if it was a male lead, he would put himself into the shoes of the character and wasn't able to figure out how to get out of it. He also covers how he's a self-taught artist and has changed his art over time. And he talks about how he got inspired from Motorball, his philosophy, and the sci-fi universe, including how the sci-fi in Gundam is built on actual science. Magic does not hold Solemn up. Like he says, it's not just an imaginary floating island, it has to be supported by scientific model. This is essential to me. I read a lot of scientific research papers online. So right up the alley with Cameron, who's very stickler for details, trying to make things very realistic and very possible in the real world. And that's why a lot of us connected with this movie as well. We know Kishiro really loved the movie adaptation, and I'm sure he's all for a sequel too. So we're going to keep you guys updated. Remember the tweeting tomorrow, or I guess Thursday, depending on when you watch this video. Remember to go to tweetdeck.com to schedule tweets for Thursday. And we're going to try to get the hashtag Alita sequel trending. And again, all the info is at the bottom. The 1-year anniversary of Alita is coming out, so continue to support the movie. We will, because we do not stand by in the presence of evil. Y'all have a great day. God bless, and talk to you soon. Doc out.